Okay, apparently, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Elon Musk has created something called Grokopedia. It's basically like Wikipedia, but it was created by Grok. And apparently it's got some really wild stuff in there. Like I've only gotten to kind of, oh Jesus Christ, a cat just jumped in my lap. It startled me. I've only had an opportunity to kind of glance through some of it, but there is some real wild stuff in there, I guess. So I just kind of wanted to talk about this article on NPR about Grokopedia and some of the wild stuff that's on it. And I want to talk about Conservapedia. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but this has been around for like a long time, like decades. And it's basically the Christian version of Wikipedia. Let's just take a look at the E equals MC squared Conservapedia. Oh no. What is going on right now? Let's check gun control. I guess some of it is up. Tchaikovsky, Germany. Oh boy. Okay, look, Germany is under the evolution umbrella. Apparently, I don't know what Germany has to do with evolution. Vladimir Putin, feminism. Let's look at feminism. Feminism is a destructive ideology that can cause alienation between women and men. Feminism denies or downplays differences between men and women. Feminism opposes homemaking, child rearing, and homeschooling while promoting participation by women in predominantly male activities, regardless of their life pursuits or interests. Most prominent modern feminists support abortion and promote misandry. Really? Misandry, you say? If you don't know what misandry is, that's gendered hate against men. They say that most most feminists hate men, okay? I mean, my God, dude, Conservapedia is absolutely unglued from reality. But my point is, I'm not sure why, like, Grokopedia even needs to exist. But take a look at what NPR reported about Grokopedia. This article is titled, What Wikipedia and Grokopedia Are Saying About Each Other, October 29th, 2025. Elon Musk's Grokopedia encyclopedia is now online, challenging volunteer-edited Wikipedia with a new tool that incorporates Grok, the large language model chatbot developed by Musk's artificial intelligence company, xAI. Musk is positioning Grokopedia as an alternative to Wikipedia, which he called Wokepedia in an X post last December. Musk has lofty ambitions for the new encyclopedia. His stated goal is to create an open-source, comprehensive collection of all knowledge. That already exists, brother. It's called Wikipedia. And this wouldn't be open source. Anyway, Grokopedia is not open source. Grok isn't open source. People like Elon Musk claim it's open source, but it isn't. The weights and biases are open to the public, I believe. But the back end, the training process, the code, that's not open source as far as I understand it. Critics and pundits are busy comparing the two sites and how they present a range of controversial topics, but we can also learn about some of their differences by asking a simple question. What do Wikipedia and Grokopedia say about each other? A search for Wikipedia on Grokopedia yielded 6,000 results early Wednesday, a number that reflects both the work that's gone into Grokopedia and the challenge of competing with an encyclopedia that's been growing for nearly 25 years. On Wikipedia, a search for Grokopedia returned 13 results. Meanwhile, 2 days after its Monday launch, a search for Grokopedia on Grokopedia did not return a dedicated entry. Instead, the 8 search results ranged from a general entry about online encyclopedias to 7 entries primarily about Wikipedia. Typing Grokopedia into Grokopedia's URL to see if the new encyclopedia might have an entry that's not yet searchable returns a message. This page doesn't exist yet. Dude, I'm getting really sick of saying the word Grokopedia. Or just the suffix apedia. I'm getting really sick of that. Bias and imitation. For the record, Wikipedia is an incredible source of knowledge. Seriously, like our teachers used to tell us, don't use Wikipedia, it's trash. It's really not. It's editable by anybody, but they have to cite sources, and there are moderators that watch for vandalism. And, you know, Wikipedia vandalism does happen from time to time. And sometimes it gets things wrong. You know, when I was studying World War II to write my book, Was Hitler an Atheist? Amazon and Audible, if you want to read it. I looked through Wikipedia for sources to see what was cited there. And I looked up the most cited authors and I contacted them. And actually, I'm in communication with some of like the world's scholars on Bonhoeffer, for example. The woman who translated every book of Dietrich Bonhoeffer into English. I spoke to her. I asked her history questions and stuff when I was writing my book. And I got all of those sources, and I gained access to those sources, those names of experts from Wikipedia. It's a very useful website. from time to time, you do find something wrong on there. You know, I went to the Martin Niemöller Wikipedia page and found that there were some things in his biography that were not right, and I corrected them. I rewrote sections of Martin Niemöller's page. You'll probably find my name in there, in the the editors or whatever. It's an incredibly useful tool, and as a result, it's used in AI training. It's a standard AI training data set. Wikipedia is, because it contains the whole of human knowledge as far as we can put it down on paper or put it down on bits. It doesn't need to be rewritten by an AI. It's fine the way it is. Anyway, let's keep reading. On its page about Wikipedia, Grokopedia says the site is renowned for its unprecedented scale, accessibility, and role in democratizing information. But Grokopedia also says Wikipedia is the subject of persistent criticisms regarding factual reliability, susceptibility to vandalism and hoaxes, and systemic ideological biases, particularly a left-leaning slant in coverage of political figures and topics. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's just not politically biased. You know what is politically biased? Reality. Reality has a left-leaning bias, whether you like that fact or not. In the United States today, Republicans are so unglued from reality that basic factual information goes against their core ideology. The lengthy article uses forms of the word bias dozens of times. It alleges that Wikipedia suffers from ideological skew to the left and states that the site's preference for a neutral point of view drawn from reliable sources can instead reinforce narratives that align with institutional biases in academia and media. Give it a fucking rest, dude. You know, there's a difference between objectivity and neutrality. They're not the same. Sometimes neutrality is the incorrect position. For example, is the Earth round or is it flat? The neutral position would be, I don't know. The objective, correct position would be, it's round. It's a sphere, a globular spheroid. But Elon Musk is trying to paint Wikipedia as some kind of woke source of information because it's not neutral on things that should be objective. It is objective. So he's creating a source of information that's not only neutral, but leans right. Sorry, man, that already exists. It's called Conservapedia, and it's fucking insane.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
I'm kind of disappointed that Conservapedia is only working a little bit right now. Here's evolution. I was actually looking for E equals MC squared. Let me look for relativity. Here we go. Counter examples to relativity on Conservapedia. I mean, any anti-science position you can imagine is on here. This website is so insane. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but it's nuts. Oh, here we go. No, this is what I was looking for right here. E equals MC squared. If you don't know what that formula means, Einstein came up with it, and it's the conversion between energy and matter. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. That's how much energy you get out of an atomic explosion, for example. E equals MC squared asserts that the energy in an unmoving particle is equal to the square of the speed of light times the mass of that particle. The complete form, when applied to moving objects, is E squared equals MC squared plus PC squared, where P represents momentum, blah, blah, blah. Now, just check this out. In fact, no theory has successfully unified the laws governing mass, i.e. gravity, with the laws governing light, i.e. electromagnetism, and numerous attempts to derive E equals MC squared from first principles have failed. Political pressure, however, has since made it impossible for anyone pursuing an academic career in science to even question the validity of this nonsensical equation. E equals MC squared is nonsensical, it says. Simply put, E equals MC squared is liberal claptrap. Seriously. It's so fucking insane, dude. This is what I'm talking about. Neutrality bias. This website doesn't even have neutrality bias. This is just insanity packaged into a website. E equals MC squared is liberal claptrap. And I love that they have these little footnotes here, these little references. What happens when I hover over the 3 here? Let's see what we got. 5 lectures at Wikiversity. The 4th one purports to derive the formula using the assumptions in the what the equation means section. Look, the footnotes, the references aren't even references. They're just asserting more. This reference says much of the 20th century physics is centered around the interactions between photons, light, and fermionic matter, and much more than $1 billion has been spent on this, but that doesn't imply that they have been unified. What the f***? Why didn't you just put that in the paragraph? The sources are supposed to link to proof of what you're saying. I mean, seriously, this website is f***ing insane, and that is what I expect Grokopedia to be eventually. Although Grokopedia is a little bit more subtle about it, more measured, but it is slipping in nonsense, actually. Here we go. This is on a Wired article, I believe, about gay marriage on Grokopedia. Grokopedia is turning into Conservapedia. It basically is Conservapedia. The Grokopedia entry about the slavery of African Americans in the U.S. includes a section outlining numerous ideological justifications, quote unquote, made for slavery, including the shift from necessary evil to positive good. The end of the entry focuses on criticisms of the 1619 Project, which it says incorrectly framed slavery as the central engine of the nation's political, economic, and cultural development. Entries for more recent historical events put conservative perspectives at the center. When Wired searched for gay marriage in Grokopedia, no entry popped up, but one of the on-screen suggestions was for gay porn instead. The entry in Grokopedia falsely states that the proliferation of adult entertainment exacerbated the HIV/AIDS epidemic in the 80s. Holy shit. Quote, this marked the onset of what would become a devastating crisis disproportionately affecting gay male communities, where behaviors idealized in adult entertainment, such as unprotected, receptive, whatever. I'm trying to be careful about what I say for monetization reasons and everything. And multiple anonymous partners align directly with primary transmission routes, leading to rapid seroconversion rates, the Grokopedia entry claims. XAI did not immediately return a request for comment. The Grokopedia entry for transgender includes 2 mentions of transgenderism, a term commonly used to denigrate trans people. The entry also refers to trans women as biological males who have generated significant conflicts, primarily centered on risks to women's safety, privacy, and sex-based protections established to mitigate male-perpetrated violence. The opening section highlights social media as a potential contagion that is increasing the number of trans people. Wired magazine's entry on Grokopedia mentions Musk's own criticism of the publication. High-profile detractors, including Elon Musk in February 2025, have labeled Wired as devolving into far left-wing propaganda, arguing it abandoned technology-focused reporting for ideologically driven narratives that normalize heavy-handed oversight of private enterprise, the entry says. Grokopedia also claims Wired is emblematic of the mainstream media's systemic leftward lean. That's wild, dude. It's basically Conservapedia, except not quite as insane. It hasn't reached the point of saying that E equals MC squared is liberal claptrap, but it's close. It's getting there. That is wild. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally, so it would mean a lot if you signed up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult, and you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that. Hey, let's check the Christianity entry on Conservapedia, see what they have to say for themselves here. Hello? You gonna load? What's going on here? It's apparently not maintained very well. There we go. Okay. Christianity is the world's largest religion, having approximately 2.6 billion followers in 2024. In terms of its geographic distribution, Christianity is the most globally diverse religion. Okay, maybe. Christianity has always been the best way to turn one's life around, to achieve more, to overcome addiction and anxiety, and to enjoy life to a much greater extent. Okay. Christianity brings God closest to mankind through Jesus and his son through Jesus as the Son of God. Literally, Christianity means of Christ, or belonging to Christ, or being like Christ. And now what do the footnotes say here? Let's see. sermoncentral.com is cited here, apparently. And number 5, the early Christian faith was sometimes called that way, and its adherents were also called Nazarenes. evidently after the city of Nazareth where Jesus lived. Okay. This is fucking insane, dude. The title Christian is also used in Acts, blah, blah, blah. Let's scroll down a bit. History of Christianity. Christianity's teachings are derived from the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ in the 1st century AD. And the footnote on this? Christianity, Britannica. Wow. Why did they even bother adding a footnote to that? Seriously. The historicity of Jesus focuses on whether Jesus Christ existed as a real historical person or whether he is simply a mythological imagination. The evidence for the existence of Jesus is overwhelming, as is agreed upon by every professor in every academic institution in every relevant field in the world. Wow, they cited Bart Ehrman. I actually agree with that. I think so. Yes. Not every academic institution in every relevant field, and not by every professor. No, that's factually false. However, the consensus of scientists, of historians, agree Jesus was probably a real person. There are detractors, and they have some interesting arguments that I don't think I agree with because I'm not a historian. I'm just going with what the historians say. But I do find it interesting. The Conservapedia conveniently trusts historians and scientists when it works in their favor, right? By the way, guys, do me a favor. Sign up for my Patreon. You don't have to follow, or you don't have to donate, but just follow me there if you can. I would really appreciate that. owenmorgan.com/Patreon. Or patreon.com/telltaleatheist. Either one gets you there. Christian beliefs are well supported by a large body of compelling evidence. No? Theologians over 2 millennia have debated a definitive summary of the Christian faith. No, they haven't. Why are there so many denominations if they have debated a definitive summary of the Christian faith? While its interpretations vary drastically, probably the most commonly accepted statement of faith is the Niceno-Constantinopolitan, I think. Wait, I'm going to get this. Constantinopolitan Creed. The Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed. Yes, the Niceno-Constantinopolitan Creed. That's the one. Christians and Christian denominations agree on many points of doctrine while disagreeing on some. According to an online Harris poll from 2003, 99% of all American Christians believe in God. Well, no fucking shit, really? 96% in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, 93% in heaven, 93% in the virgin birth. Now, why are you even giving us these fucking statistics? Seriously, I don't understand the relevance here. Yes, obviously Christians believe in God. What? Nonetheless, the creed offers a general overall picture of what Christian theology looks like. Jesus Christ, dude. These people are insane. And I'm telling you, this is what Elon Musk is trying to create with Grokopedia. It's nuts. Wikipedia is just fine. You don't need to make a good thing worse. Tell me what you think in the comments.